YouTube, and welcome to week 21 of this series. Today is Thursday, and for this week's video, I'm going to be telling you about my fun little escapade I had a couple days ago on Tuesday. So the wife asked for some alone time after I got home from work, so I took the kids to our local park, and there's a creek that goes beside the park, and I took my two oldest. We went down beside the creek, and we're walking along the shore for a while, and followed it outside of the park to where there's just some, I guess, wild land that's not really like mowed or tended to in any capacity. And my son had been asking about wanting to cross the creek, which is reasonably doable. It's anywhere from 4 inches to a foot deep, and it's maybe 15 to 20 feet wide, depending on the area. And flat rock bottom on the creek bed. He was wearing Crocs. My daughter was wearing her rain boots, and I was wearing a pair of sandals, which I didn't particularly want to get wet. So he kept asking about wanting to cross, and I kept telling him no. But then as we were going along the side of the creek, I saw that there were some dead trees that had fallen across the creek, and I wanted to try that, or try climbing across those to get to the other side, while also being able to stay dry. If you think you know where this is going, you're probably wrong. So when we got down there, I climbed about halfway across the trees to get to the other side to see if it was stable and crossable, which it is perfectly crossable. It just requires a little bit of climbing, but I started helping the kids across and helping them balance. And we got hold on here, traffic. We got a good ways across, and for part of the climb, you can't just go straight across. There's a tree that is fallen like this, and other logs here, and you have to climb up and over through the two big branches of this fallen tree where the trunk doesn't split. And apparently the tree is still alive, because while it's fallen, it has shoots of other branches that are growing straight up off of these sides of the split trunk. So when you're coming up from this side, it's easy to reach on both sides, to reach up and grab those shoots that are growing up, and they're pretty good size, probably 1 inch in diameter. But when I was trying to bring my daughter across and up through that point, I was a tad too hasty, and as I pulled myself up with her on my chest, I realized shot with my center of gravity, and I was going forwards with nothing to grab onto, nothing to hold on to, nothing to step on, to be able to step in front of me to stop my momentum. And that's when it began. Fortunately, my daughter got through without a single scratch or bruise as far as I can find. It was a little bit of a miracle, given how hairy the situation got in the following second. As I fell, I had her in my left arm, and as I was falling, I reached out with my right arm to hook this part of the tree branch with my arm, like this, I guess. That's not a great representation. But to hook one side of it to try to slow myself down. I was wearing a lightweight hoodie, and I don't know if I'll be able to show this too well on camera. This is the lightest flesh wound that I got, but I did get scratched up there. A little bit of abrasion. Because my skin on the bare tree bark, it would have been a lot worse. But I hooked myself there. But the problem with that is, as I did that, I twisted my whole body and was then falling sideways. And I scraped my foot up pretty good on the top of my left foot. But the way that I fell, I had my left leg folded up behind me with, if I was to be a contortionist and try to like reach back and grab my foot, pull it up behind me so you can see it behind my shoulder. And then also have both my arms all the way up and to the side. That's the position I landed in. I had one leg submerged in the creek. And yeah, we got a wrecked RV on the side of the road. Right there. But, anywho, after that, after my fall, I had enough of an adrenaline rush that nothing hurt immediately. I didn't break anything or fracture anything. I'm overall alright. I'd say the fall was probably 6 or 8 feet. I had already moved my son to the next spot that I was trying to get to. So I handed off my daughter to him, and he helped her up to the area where he was standing and waiting. And then I had him pass me my walking stick that I found, which was about, on average, 2 inches in diameter. And I don't know, not quite a foot taller than I am. And by walking stick, I just mean a cool stick we found in the woods, not like a proper walking stick. But anyways, I had him pass that to me, and I had to take it with both of my hands and just plant the bottom on the creek bed and just work my hands up one over the other to just lift myself up from the position I was in, because part of what scraped my foot is there was a branch that went on my foot inside my sandal and scraped the skin, but it was also hanging up my foot. Yeah, it was fun. Moral of the story is, go on adventures, because even if they don't have the happy ending you planned for, you still get a cool story out of it. The happy ending I had planned for was, hey, we're gonna go climb across these dead fun time and be able to come home and, the kids can tell mom about how they were able to climb to the other side of the creek without getting wet, which they didn't get wet. I did. And they didn't get hurt. I did. And it's also my fault that that adventure ended in a little bit of crying and upset feelings, because they were a bit scared about what was going to happen. But overall, they handled it very well, and by the time I limped back to our car, we had already discussed enough stuff to unpack what had happened and verbally process it all. So they did well. I'm in one piece. Yesterday at work, I was walking with a bit of a limp. Today, not as much, but the top of my foot is still sensitive. Gotta love that drop in the road there. It just slings you all over the place. Well, this has been week 21. Thank you for watching. Also, if you can't tell by the background, spring has certainly sprung. Everything's green and the trees are putting out leaves, and allergies are here as well, and the starts of bugs and mosquitoes, so that's been fun. But yeah, thanks for watching, and this has been week 21 of my 52-week challenge. So 5 more weeks until I'm at 50%, halfway through this year of weekly uploads. Subscribe and like, and I'll see you next week.